What's going on, Jerome's? So, of course, the topic du jour this season is the development of a quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. Now, of course, there have been some great moments. There have been some not so great moments. And right now, the haters and the losers, they do have the ball. And they're looking to punch in the end zone. And it's a field day. It's a field day right now because McCarthy, stats-wise, flirting with 50% completion percentage, throwing a pick in all 5 of his starts so far. It is what it is. Mechanically, has to get better, has to make some better decisions with the football. But there's just something, man. There's just something. And also, half these memes, I don't remember the context to. I think it was because him and Hawkinson were working out with like Josh Oliver and Jordan Mason down in Nashville. All my exes live in Texas, and eventually that cement will set, as Kevin O'Connell said. And McCarthy is indeed going to be him, and going to shut up all the haters and losers. And I love it. I love it. Every other quarterback in NFL history at least gets a season, highly drafted ones. Caleb Williams still on scholarship. Caleb Williams completed 50% of his passes against the Vikings. No big deal. Also, he got credit for the game-winning drive. I love it. 56-yard kick return, 3 runs, and a kick. Caleb Williams, fourth quarter comeback win. Yeah. But just give it time. Having that faith. Steel AIs, number 9. I don't know. Maybe we should have waited for the alter ego. I don't know. But, of course, ESPN, the worldwide bleeder of readers, viewers, and subscribers, decided to chime on in. And this is what Jeremy Fowler as well as Dan Graziano had to say about J.J. McCarthy right now. What's the buzz on J.J. McCarthy through 5 starts? Are the Vikings concerned? Oh, you look nervous. Fowler, the accuracy is a concern. There's no hiding from that. Balls are sailing, and that affects the entire offense. McCarthy needs to hit the layups. The Vikings will be working to help him find more consistency as a thrower. From a developmental standpoint, the team still believes in his work ethic and skill set. He's made of the right stuff, as Coach Kevin O'Connell said Monday. Minnesota really has no choice but to work through this and help McCarthy manage the growing pains. Carson, I do want to say this. So you want to develop him. And this gets into not babying him, but why is McCarthy out here throwing 30, 40 times a game? Why is he given the options of these low percentage throws deep downfield? Why? Consistently. I don't know. Carson Wentz underwent season-ending shoulder surgery. Yes, he should be able to make all of these throws, but if he's struggling right now, why keep bashing your head against the wall? How about you focus on what the kid is good at right now? And everything else can get worked out during the week, as well as especially during the offseason. Right? Carson Wentz is out. Max Brosmer has potential, but is an undrafted free agent. Perhaps Brosmer will get a shot at McCarthy. We're a middle-round pick, but I just don't see that happening in the short term. I feel like if McCarthy got benched, say McCarthy got benched at halftime against the Bears, and Brosmer shows up, moves the offense, Vikings win, then you got like civil war amongst the fan base, man. I don't know. I don't even know what would happen. Maybe Brosmer, but I don't know. But then is McCarthy ruined for most of the fan base forever when you should have faith behind your guy? Don't know. ESPN's Kevin Seifert put a bet, not Carl Gershman, put it best Monday. The Vikings' 2 goals, competing for a championship and developing a young quarterback, are cannibalizing each other. This is the mentality where you get the Band-Aid veteran over and over and over and over and over again, right? Were the Vikings going to win a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz? No. And this is the training scars of not developing their quarterbacks in-house. Because think of the quarterbacks the Vikings drafted post-Dante, so post-1999. Which quarterbacks got a second contract with the Vikings? Wasn't Ponder, wasn't T-Jack, wasn't Teddy. So it wasn't any of the later round picks. Wasn't Joe Webb, wasn't Jaron Hall. So this is all new to this generation. We're not used to, all right, see what the kid's got. Let's develop him. Let's put him in a great situation. And there's going to be growing pains. I'm sorry that he's not walking out of the womb as a first team All-Pro. Right. Graziano, they sure are, as Kevin lays out well, and you can see some of the frustration with the other players on offense. Justin Jefferson slamming his helmet. Again, this leads into that absolute BS. Again, Jefferson slamming his helmet on the sideline isn't something you see very often. That's because he dropped a very easy third down conversion, very uncharacteristic. He was mad at himself as opposed to J.J. McCarthy. And also, When have you known Jefferson to show up his quarterback or any teammate on the sideline? Never, because he didn't. But, of course, the media losers, was it Ari Mario, My Sports Update? He was the one who's really promulgating is there problems with Vikings? So dumb, man. I think that's a big part of the concern the Vikings have, keeping everything together around McCarthy as he endures the growing pains. I don't believe they've seriously considered going to Brosmer, who, as you mentioned, probably needs even more seasoning than McCarthy. Although Brosmer doesn't get rid of the ball quick and accurate, man. Who, as you mentioned, probably needs the Wentz. It's weird. Yeah. The Wentz injury really has deprived them of any serious alternatives, even if they wanted to sit McCarthy to let him catch his breath. It would be kind of wild if Wentz was healthy. I wonder what O'Connell would do, but I guess we'll never know. All right, and also, here's something too. I know that people are upset the way that this season has gone because, as we talked about, this is the most anticipated season in recent Vikings franchise history. But as we illustrated yesterday, like the 2026 cap is a myth. Like the Vikings are very fungible. Like they can get rid of some bad veteran contracts, they can restructure, they can extend. So the Vikings will be cap compliant, and they'll actually have cap space to play around with to play in free agency. So, as we said, the Vikings have a 3-year Super Bowl window. This is year one, where he's on his rookie deal, and you can assemble the Avengers around him. That's what you can do. You can keep your young, talented players. You can sign big names in free agency. Hopefully you draft well these next couple of years, all while McCarthy is on the forefront of his rookie deal. Get to fifth-year option, and then, especially as a top 10 pick, gets a little bit muddy, but things will work itself out. So, like I said, this is not 2009. This is not all in or nothing. This is step one of a multi-year Super Bowl window for the Vikings, where ideally J.J. McCarthy becomes that guy who eventually, when he gets a premium contract and takes up 20% of the salary cap, that you can win around him with lesser and younger talent. That's what it is. And I agree Minnesota still does believe in him. Oh, really? Yeah, so the guy that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell bet their gerbs on and sold ownership on, they still believe in him after 5 games? But Trey Lance only got 4 games. Trey Lance should have never been drafted 3. Right. Trey Lance played 1 season and 1 game at the FCS level and had a lot of mechanical issues. Right. And it points to his fourth quarter efforts in the games against the Bears as proof that he has the right kind of stuff in him. What about the Lions game, huh? Also, what about the last drive against the Bears in the second game? That got spoiled by the 56-yard kick return. And also spoiled because he didn't play very well earlier. But he's obviously missing too many throws and by way too much. So we broke it down. Of his 16 incompletions on Sunday, 6 were really bad. 6 were bad. 2 got picked. 6 were drops. So what is that? 6. So 14 throws were accounted for. 1 of them was that sort of jump ball to Addison. That was sort of knocked down. And 2 were batted up. So that doesn't even add up, but doesn't matter. And attributed trying to be a hero in a situation where he knows his team is counting on him to help him win. That's what I think, too. It's not so much a lack of skill issue. I think he's just trying and pressing too hard at times. Right? He's overthinking things. That's why he does so well in 2-minute drills. Just like, I can just play because I don't have time to overthink things. That's why a little bit of tempo in our lives will be beautiful. I feel like that was a little bit alluded to by Wes Phillips on Wednesday as well. The general sense I get from inside the Vikings building and out in that is that he just needs more time and reps. Weird thought. Vikings building has to smell, right? Or just like locker rooms in general, But, the problem is, as Kevin writes, the plan was to complete this year while McCarthy ramped up, and his sluggish development is keeping them from doing so. It's almost like he's in start 5. It's almost like he missed 5 games with a high ankle sprain. So right now, this time of the season, if McCarthy didn't get illegally hip drop tackled against the Falcons, he'd have 10 starts. We'd have a much clearer picture, double the time, but we don't. So work with what you got. Fowler. Most NFL storylines pale in comparison to the Vikings' recent quarterback journey. They could have had a variation of Sam Darnold, Danny Jones, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback in the team. Those passers are combined 21-9 on the season. The Vikings' thinking, which is typically correct when a rookie quarterback is on the books, is to load up the roster with support on both sides of the ball, hoping to contend for a Super Bowl with the starter on a rookie scale deal. As a result, the Vikings led the league with a 33 $449 million payroll, but all of this is contingent on the young quarterback showing progress. Right now, Minnesota has the next 7 games to cash in on that investment or possibly pivot to a new plan. Fully understand, paid a lot of money. But guess what? Team's worth a lot of money, right? And the team had the cap space, and they're going out and doing that. Right. And also, as we said, the Vikings have the cap flexibility to be able to do some things in 2026 and 2027, the next 2 years of these 3-year initial Super Bowl window with Jonathan James McCarthy. So it's whatever. Graziano, that's my question. Looking ahead, the schedule eased out a bit, and McCarthy should have a chance to show improvement on the final 7 weeks of the season and beyond. If they rebound and make the playoffs, we make it a run, baby. But if he doesn't, what do they do in the offseason? Bring in a veteran mentor, bring in a veteran for competition, the way the Colts did with Jones for struggling Anthony Richardson Sr. this past offseason. Look to draft a potential replacement. The Vikings quarterback plan next spring will tell us everything we need to know about where they really are with McCarthy, who, again, still has more than 1/3 of a season to show the team that it was right to put their faith in him. And they're right about the schedule, where the Vikings sort of had an interesting run in the 5 games that McCarthy has been there. So Chicago, Atlanta, which the Falcons are effing terrible, man. How did we get blown out by the Falcons? Yeah. Detroit, dub, and then Baltimore and Chicago. JJ McCarthy hasn't won at home yet. That's depressing. Yeah, but you got a couple of road games coming up against Green Bay, a premium one against Seattle. You got the Commies at home, and you never take any opponent lightly, but the Commies defense, yeah. And then the Cowboys defense coordinated by Matt Eberflus. Then the Giants, and then you got 2 more home games. And ideally, JJ McCarthy will have 3 straight wins at home, right? So fully understand, like, hey, Kevin O'Connell's right about the cement, and McCarthy talking to the media jackals. We're breaking down a lot of things on the fly right now, and there's going to be some growing pains until those become muscle memory. But overall, I feel like he's certainly progressed in terms of pre-snap decisions, checking to the right play, even though, he checks to the right play because obviously defenses are stacking up to stop the run. But then it's like a quarterback saying, like, oh, we got to check to the pass, 40 yards downfield, YOLO, right? And also, calling out protections. I feel like he's progressed there. Didn't have 8 false starts against the Bears like they did against the Ravens, only had 1. So I feel like everything above the neck is good to go. All right, but the feet, got to work on the feet. And I'm sure that we'll be chasing that neon rainbow, living that honky-tonk dream once J.J. McCarthy proves that he is indeed that dude. So there you go. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. ESPN, the worldwide leader of readers, viewers, and subscribers, had thoughts about J.J. McCarthy. Your thoughts on their thoughts, on our thoughts, on everyone's thoughts. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skol production value.